Hi, everybody. I think we are live. So, welcome. I am Michelle Solis from This Must Be Ink. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Seekonk, Massachusetts. Welcome. It is Friday night, October 17th. I've been off today, so I don't even know what day it is. But anyways, I got a day off on a Friday, so I have a 3-day weekend. I'm so excited. Okay, so anyways, it's Friday night. This is my Stamp and Sip. Welcome to my Stamp and Sip, where the weekend starts early, especially in this case. So I don't always stamp on a Friday night, but when I do, I stamp and sip with all of you. And so tonight we are going to take a sip of whatever we brought. Tonight I'm finishing up my bottle of blood orange spritz. I think this is Oliver wine. I don't actually remember now. I've been drinking this for like a week, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I don't know. Anyway. Okay, so take a sip of what you brought. We're going to start our project. Tonight we are making this cute little box, and it's a little box that's going to hold 4 cards, and it'll be perfect for holiday gifting or a birthday present, whatever. But I just thought with the holidays coming up, this would be a great little thing to have in your arsenal that you can whip up really quickly and give as a last minute gift or a hostess gift. Okay, so we're going to turn the camera down. I say that with confidence. Here we go. All right, here we go. Get this camera in here. That looks pretty straight. No, there we go. All right, just leave it. Okay, so here's the little box. This is the set that we're using tonight. It's called Winter Scenes. Sorry for the glare. So it has 4 little scenes. I can't even show it to you because the glare. So it's got a little river with some trees and some mountains with some little trees. And then it's got a little house with some trees. And this one is a little snowman and some trees. So nice, cute little winter scenes, and they are very small. So I saw this set and really loved it and thought, what can I do with this? So I love to make them, if there's 4 little scenes, I want to make 4 little matchy cards. So that's what I did. So here's the one with, hi Sharon, hi Carol, thanks for joining. Here's the one with the mountains and the little trees. And then here's the one with the river. And then this one with the little snowman. He's teeny tiny. And then this one with the little cabin. All right, so when I saw this set, I thought that these little scenes would fit perfectly in this little area of this embossing folder. So this embossing folder is called Peaceful Greenery 3D Embossing Folder. It looks like this. So it's got this flat area in the middle and then this greenery around the outside. It is a part of this suite, the Peaceful Garden suite. So I had used this before with this paper, the Peaceful Garden paper, but then once I got tired of that, I thought, well, what else can I do with this? So this little folder here, I thought that looked like a good spot to stamp these little images in. So that's why I got this Winter Scenes set. And this is a current online exclusive set. Okay. And then these tiny little sentiments that are just so adorable. This is a November online exclusive that will be coming in the beginning of November. It's called Banner Sayings. all these tiny little sayings, and that coordinates with this. I think this is called the three banner punch. So that coordinates with these little banners that you can cut out with this punch. Okay, so I'm going to show that to you in action in a little while. Let's figure out, first of all, the card. So let me show you the card first. All right, so I have done 3 more cards, and this time I've done this in, oh, I didn't tell you about this one. This was a Secret C card base with, oh my gosh, why did it, I thought we were solo. There we go. So this one was a Secret C card base, and then I did Mossy Meadow cardstock mat, and then there's just the tiniest little hint of Designer Series paper back there that is also Secret C, and I can't remember where I got that one. Sorry, I don't remember what the other side was now. Okay, I'll have to list it on the project. And then I used basic white to go in the embossing folder, and then some of this new Mossy Meadow and gold ribbon on this one. And then I stamped the images in Secret C. So that was the first set. This second set that I did was with basic gray. So the card base is basic gray on this one. And then I used smoky slate for the card mat. This Designer Series paper is the Country Woods paper. And then the basic white again for the embossing folder. And then I stamped in basic gray. And then this ribbon is old, sorry. But this is basic gray ribbon, but this is an old ribbon that I was just lucky I had. All right, so those are the 3 cards, the little snowman and the other 2 that I've created so far. We're going to do the last card together. Let me put this aside. That's for the box. All right, let's do this. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my my inside piece, just to get that out of the way. If you know me at all, you know sometimes I just forget to put them in. And then I put them in my card box, and then when I go to send it, I hope I'm not in a hurry, because sometimes I don't have the middle in there and I have to stop, and I'm like, oh, I got to make the sentiment piece. I'm trying to get in the habit of putting that in there first, so it's in there. There we go. All right, so the other pieces we're going to have, this card base is 4 1/4 by 11, and I scored it at 5 1/2. This mat is going to be 5 1/4 by 4. And then my cardstock DSP piece is 3 1/2 by 5. And this piece we're going to cut down. So the whole design for this card came from the fact that this image has these little, these areas that go out on either side. And it just reminded me of like a little tag, a little place where I could put this little punch. It's like a tag topper punch, but it wouldn't fit. So it wouldn't go all the way into where I wanted it to go. So I realized I had to cut some of this down. So what we did was a trimmer. On this long side, I had to cut a 1/2 inch off. So I'm going to take a 1/4 inch off of each side. So we're going to take a 1/4 inch off of here, and then a 1/4 inch off of here. And that way, then my little punch is going to fit where I want it. So then I realized, well, I need to trim it this way as well as this way. So on this side, I wanted to take an inch off. So we're going to take a 1/2 inch from this side and a 1/2 inch from that side so that it won't be lopsided. Okay, so that is how the design for this card came about. All right, so now we can punch this little hole in here. I just want to make sure I'm lining it up so it looks like it's in the middle of that little area there. Okay, so my idea was to put some ribbon in there. So let me show you how I did that to make it easy. What I did was I flipped this piece over and I took a little glue dot and I put it right there where the little opening comes to a point there. And then I took my piece of ribbon. I need some scissors. Okay, so then I took my piece of ribbon and I put it through from the front. And I took off the backing and I just stuck that down right on top of the glue dot. And I don't want it to go over the edge of the card. I just want it to stick onto that glue dot. And then I'm going to give myself some length here because I want it to wrap around the next layer that I'm doing. So I'm just going to take a little snip there. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Go through the front, flip it over, take the backing off. Oh, can't get the back. There we go. And then just stick this down. And then we're going to cut a little length here. Okay. So then I'm going to put this onto my next layer, which is going to be my designer series paper. So it's going to go like this. Okay. I'm just going to put that down with some glue. Don't think that I'm ignoring you tonight. I'm sorry. My camera is right in the way. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Maria. Oh, Betsy and Julie. Thank you guys for joining. I can't just look up and see. I have to like lean over to see the screen. All right, so we're going to just center that onto our designer series paper. And then I'm going to tack it down in the back. I'm just going to use regular Scotch tape, but I want to get my ribbon into that little indentation there. So I kind of want to squish it into the indentation and then pull it around and tack it down. This is terrible tape, by the way. Just want you to know. I ran out of good tape and I had to read my husband's office and he has terrible tape. Okay. All right. And so then they're going to do the same thing on the other side. So it looks like it goes all the way around, but it doesn't go all the way around. Can't get you in the hole. There we go. There we go. Okay. So that's our layer. Then we're going to, oh my gosh, I didn't stamp the image. Have you been yelling at me this whole time? All right, well, now we better just cross our fingers and hope that I can stamp this straight, or we'll have to start all over again. What was I thinking? I was so busy talking. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. So we did we did the one with the mountain. So we need the one with the river. Oh, if I ever make a perfect video, it'll be a miracle. I'll have to quit right down and be like, ta-da! Go out on a high. All right, let's hope I have enough ink on here. All right, everybody just take a breath. Hold your breath. Okay. Do it. Ta-da! Okay, perfect. Phew. Okay. That was a big step I forgot there. All right, now we're going to put it on here. That's easy. Let's hopefully we can get this straight. There we go. And then we'll just put it onto our front of our card here. Just like that. Okay, so that's our fourth card. He just needs a little sentiment. So let's see what we've got here. So this is the banner sayings, as I said. This is a November online exclusive that will be coming out. And it's got these teeny tiny little sentiments. And I have totally smudged up my whole case here. So let's see, I've got the hugs, sending my love, and thanks a million. Well, let's do happy birthday, because we always need a happy birthday. So put this aside. These are very tiny and adorable. Okay, now let's talk for a second about the punch. So you know all those little strips that you get when you cut your paper, when you cut your basic white down to 5 1/4 by 4, you come up with these, I think, yeah, they're 1/2 inch little strips. These are perfect size for this banner punch. So now you know what to do with all those scraps. So you can just do one at a time here. Or you can do 3 at a time. But I love to use up these scraps. I think that's perfect use for those scraps. All right, so for this one, since it's going landscape, I'm going to use this little banner and my happy birthday. Look at how adorable that is. I'm so happy with the way that these both coordinate. All right, and then we're going to just get some dimensionals and pop that up. And just stick that right there. There we go. So we have our 4 cards now. I forgot to grab some envelopes, but I'll just grab the ones from here. So 4 cards and envelopes are going to fit in this box. Okay. Okay, so how do we make the box? We need a piece of paper. 1 second. Oh, okay, we're going to do basic gray. And we need a piece that is 6 7/8 by 11. So you've got a piece of paper is going to be 8 1/2 by 11. So we're going to cut this down to 6 7/8. So 6 7/8 is 2 lines before 7 inches. Okay. And now I'm going to switch to my scoring board to score, and I'm going to tell you why. So for the measurements for the scoring for this box include a 6 1/8 and a 6 5/8. That's very hard to do on your trimmer. So if you do not have a scoring board and you're going to have to use your trimmer, I would suggest taking your paper, whatever you're making your box with, and marking it off on your grid paper or a ruler at 6 7/8. So making yourself a mark. It's on your grid paper. It's going to be 1 line before 7, and then 6. That's 6 7/8, and then what did I just say? 6 5/8. People, sorry. Oh my goodness. Let me move this down this way. Okay. 6 1/8 and 6 5/8. I had 6 7/8 stuck in my head. Okay. So 6 1/8 is going to be the first line right after 6. And then 6 5/8 is going to be the first line right after 1/2 inch. So that's what I would do if I had to use my trimmer, because you'll see on your trimmer that 6 1/2 and 6 1/8 fall right in the hinge there on your trimmer, and it's very hard to see. Okay, but I'm going to use my scoring board for this one. So we're going to score at, if I can find my directions, 1 1/4, and then 1 3/4, and then 6 1/8, and 6 5/8. Okay. I will have all these measurements on my blog, so don't panic if you didn't write them down. Then we're going to turn this to portrait, and we're going to score 1/2 inch on either edge. So we'll go 1/2 inch here. And then I'm going to turn it around and just do 1/2 inch on the other side. Okay. So we should have this now. You're going to have a large panel and a large panel and a skinny panel. The skinny panel is going to be the flap of your little box. Okay, so we are going to take off this square and this rectangle on both sides, if you can see that. So on both sides of that flap. So we're going to just take our scissors and cut right up the score line there, and then right on the score line here. Oh, I didn't make it all the way up there. And then just do the same on the other side. Okay. So now you should have this. You've got your two big panels and your flap here, and you've removed those. Now, this area in the middle here, this is where you're going to fold. This will be the bottom of your box. You need these two flaps to be free. So this little square, we're not going to cut it off. We're just going to cut on either side of it. And then we're just going to miter it a little bit. So just take a little wedge out of each side of that. So it should look like that now. Okay. And then we'll do the same thing to the other side. And just take a little wedge snip out of there. Okay, that's just to help it fold up a little bit easier. So now it should look like this. Two big panels, your flap, and then you should have your little tabs here and here. And that's it. That's all you need to do. All right, I'm going to grab some tear and tape. You can use liquid glue on this, but you have to wait for it to dry. You've got to hold it. So I decided to use some tear and tape for the video. All right, so we're going to burnish all our folds. So all the score lines. I'm going to do mountain in the middle, get those all burnished. And then get your sides. Just make sure you've got nice clean edges there. And then you just want to fold both of these folds in the middle. Okay, so that is our little box. All right, so this little tab, I'm going to put some tear and tape on there. Actually, let's flatten it out. It'll probably be easier. I'm going to put just a little piece of tear and tape there. And then on the other flap. Okay. Before you glue anything, you want to remember this is going to be the back of your box. This flap is going to come over and be, the closure. Oh, I forgot to round the corners. 1 second. So this is going to be the back of your box. This will be the front. So if you want a nice clean box, you're going to want to put the front flap over the back flap. Okay, but I did forget to round the edges. So if you have a edge rounding punch, do that. You don't have to, not required, but I do like the look of it. So we will round those two edges. Okay, so you're going to put some tear and tape on the back flaps here, these two side flaps on your back panel. I feel like such a weakling with the tear and tape. I don't know why my tear and tape never wants to tear properly. Oh, there we go. Okay. So now I'm going to take the paper off of my little flaps. Take the paper backing off. And we're going to fold those in and attach them to the inside of this panel where we have the tape. We're going to just bring that so that it's making a nice edge here. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Bring that in and line it up so it's nice and flush and making a good edge here. And this is where if you're using liquid glue, you have to hold it for a couple of seconds. So the tear and tape works a little bit better. Then you'll remove the paper backing from the side, bring up your front, and just lay that down there. And then you're going to do the same on the other side. Take the paper backing off, maybe. Okay, and then just close that up. To burnish it a little bit more, you can put your bone folder in there just to kind of rub it, make sure it's nice and stuck together. And that is your little box. Okay, so I'm going to put my designer series paper on. I've got two panels, one for the front and one for the back of the box. And these are measuring 5 by 3 3/4. Of course, you can make them larger if you want to, but I'm going to do it the way I did the other one. And I used only one piece of designer series paper for the box and the 4 cards. So we'll get that on there. And then do the one on the back. Okay. And then if you're going to do a little panel of paper on the top, since my flap had the rounded edges, I went ahead and rounded the edges of my designer series paper. Again, completely optional. This one did not punch very well. There we go. All right, and then we'll just put this one on for the flap. And then the closure. So on my original one, I used, oh my gosh, right out of my brain, a Velcro dot. There we go. On the original, I used a Velcro dot here. So I have some small Velcro dots. I can't even tell you how big they are because the packaging, outside packaging is gone. But I found a package with 2 different sizes. So these are teeny. These are less than 1/2 inch across. So that's what I used for this one. And then I did add the ribbon closure there. This one, I was going to just use my punch. This again is the hole punch trio. It comes with the little 1/8 inch punch, and then it comes with this straight little straight line punch, and then it comes with this little tag punch. So I was going to use this one this time, and I'm going to just make a little hole right here in the middle of my panel. And I'm just going to use my ribbon to keep that closed. So let's put our cards and our envelopes in. And then what you will do is just put your ribbon through your little hole here and go around. Okay. And then just make your bow. And I try to do this upside down so my bow, believe it or not, if you do your bow upside down, it comes out straight the way you want it on the other side. I don't understand why, but it seems to work. So we'll make a bow. And then just get it to look like what you want it to. And then just cut off. Oh, this one doesn't want to cooperate. Then just cut off your ends. There we go. So you should be all set. All right. So that's the one from tonight. And of course, you can put a little sentiment on the outside. I did just a note on this one with some little bling. Okay, so that's it from me tonight. Trying to get it all in the picture here. So my other cards are inside the box. There we go. All right, so that's it for me tonight. Hope you guys liked that. All right, let's turn this around here. There we go. There we go. All right. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you liked hanging out and watching that, make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. It's This Must Be Ink. As you might know, Facebook is now only hanging on to videos for 30 days, I think. So if you want to go back and watch one of my videos, make sure that you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. You can find them there. It's This Must Be Ink. Also, make sure while you're there that you subscribe so that you'll know anytime that I am going live. And if you want to know about upcoming classes or new Stampin' Up! News or special offers, make sure that you hop on my email list. You will also find that on my website, thismustbeink.com. You can also find my blog there on my website, and that's where you're going to find the instructions for tonight's cards and box. Those will be on my blog this weekend with all the measurements, and I will make you a template. I have a little tiny template for the box, but I'll make it better. I'll make it a little larger for you. Okay, so everything will be there if you want to recreate this. And you can print all the directions, or you've got the directions on your computer, and then you just rewatch the video and craft along. Okay, all right, so that's it for me tonight. You guys have a great weekend. I have a workshop tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to seeing those of you that are coming. And I will see you here again next week, next Friday night at 7. Cheers! Stay crafty, my friends.